Alright, guys, I gotta say this. Fucking NXT, January 22nd, 2020. It was a good show. Definitely good. I enjoyed the main event with Keith Lee and Roderick Strong with the NXT North American Championship main event. Good, solid match. The Dusty Rhodes Classic, awesome. The two semi-final matches that were on this card tonight, or last night, I should say, was awesome. I didn't have any issues with this. Overall, I thought this was a good show compared to NXT, and I know I come every week stating that NXT has a better show than AEW, and it's hard to say they're not. They're better than AEW in this aspect of producing good, solid shows. AEW last night, really, like I said, they kind of more were just kind of making it a fun little regular show. It wasn't really any major build towards the pay-per-view. It was kind of like the little vacation away from doing what they were suiting up for the pay-per-view coming up. This show, though, hit it on all cylinders, was producing build-up for the Worlds Collide with NXT versus NXT UK. I thought they did an outstanding job, this show. This show produced what it needed and is continuing to produce. One thing I'm a little bit sad about is NXT is not going to be part of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in any capacity. Just kind of weird. I don't know why. I think outside of the match they had with the Triple Threat with the women in the Survivor Series, that they did an awesome job with Survivor Series, to be honest with you. I don't know why they are not okaying the idea of having NXT part of this major pay-per-view. But hey, you know what? I'm fine with it. I mean, I think at this point, WWE's NXT needs to stay away from anything WWE main roster related, because main roster really isn't all that big of a deal. It really isn't. I mean, I watched it live Monday Night Raw this past week, and it's nothing big. NXT's where it's at. AEW, they're a good, solid show. I'm not going to say that they're garbage. They can do anything better than Monday Night Raw or SmackDown on their worst day. So that's just me. I don't know how you guys feel about AEW compared to WWE Raw and SmackDown, but as AEW compared to NXT, I'm sorry, but NXT's got them beat big time. Despite the fact that they lose in the ratings and so forth, I don't care. There's a lot of other aspects that play into why AEW is probably beating NXT, and it's probably because AEW, you don't have a lot of a lot of different ways of watching the show. You either have to watch it live, or that's it. You know, unless you have DVR, there's really nothing you're going to be able to do to catch their shows. Not to mention they are a main roster show. NXT's more along the lines like a developmental system, even though they're being hyped up as a competitive promotion against AEW. At the end of the day, guys, let's be honest. Those guys are not going to remain on that roster. The guys on AEW do. They're not going anywhere else. They're not going to another level in their company. They're staying where they're at because that's the top tier of where they are. So they don't have a developmental system or anything like that. WWE, on the other hand, has a developmental system that puts their main roster to shame, which then again also contradicts the idea of being promoted as being more of a demotion than being a promotion, which is pretty fucking weird in itself. But anyway, guys, let's get into NXT for January 22nd, 2020. I've spoke to you guys for almost 5 minutes talking about the comparison of AEW and NXT. Let's get into the show. Dusty Rhodes semifinals match between the Undisputed Era and the Grizzled Young Veterans kick-started the show. This was awesome. I liked what they did here, especially with the fact that they had the group Imperium, who they're going to be facing at Worlds Collide in this, because it helped hype up the friction and animosity between these two teams, these two factions that are going to go at it they're probably going to be the main event of Worlds Collide. And I think this is going to be a fun, enjoyable show. I am definitely going to review this. I don't know if I'm going to review it the same night that it happens. I may review it in the morning because I might go do some stuff with friends and family and whatnot, and go have a good time and enjoy the weekend since I've been busting my ass with this move to this new apartment. But overall, this show is going to be fun. No matter what time I watch it, no matter when I watch it, I am going to be looking forward to this show. And I'm going to either deliver it Saturday night or Sunday morning, one of the two. But it will be delivered, like I said. So, this matchup between Undisputed Era and Grizzled Young Veterans was really good. This action was back and forth, good tag team wrestling. Both of these matches really excelled in tag team wrestling overall. Fantastic shit. The Grizzled Young Veterans, they end up winning this match because, like I said, the distraction of Imperium getting involved in the match itself and costing them the match altogether. So, after the match ended, the Undisputed Era hits the ring as the winners head to the stage to regroup near the trophy. Imperium looks on. We get to a look at the updated brackets as the Grizzled Young Veterans move to the finals and so forth. The Undisputed Era is still in the ring, calling Imperium to come down and fight, but they didn't do that. They went to the next match, which was Toni Storm and Io Shirai, excuse me. This match was alright. Solid little fun women's matchup between Toni Storm and Io Shirai. Pretty much hyping up the match between Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. Not that I'm expecting a title change whatsoever. I don't think that is going to happen at all. But honestly, Toni Storm, Io Shirai, just to get into this, has been looking like a jobber. I really have not liked the way that she's being produced in this show. She has not progressed. She has not moved forward as a talent. From what I've heard, I think I've heard rumors that Io Shirai is very disappointed in how she's being used in NXT nonetheless, which is very strange. Not too many people complain about their place in the NXT roster, but Io Shirai is not very happy where she's at. I like her gimmick. It's a very good gimmick. I enjoy it. I think it matches her personality. She really excels with the character. It's just that the point is she keeps losing matches, but seems to continue to make look important, but you can't really get behind that character because all she keeps doing is losing. So where does she stand outside of being looked at as a loser and a jobber? So that's just my feel on it, my take on it and all that. So that's just pretty much my perception of this whole situation with Io Shirai's place in NXT. But she was good in this match. And, I mean, she did win the match by DQ, but really, come on, let's be honest, people. Is this really a great win? Absolutely not. She was more of a loser in this than anything else. She almost did lose anyway. And Bianca Belair got in the middle of this match and leveled both Storm and Io Shirai. So, I thought the match was okay, but Bianca Belair, I'm not behind her either. I'm not a big fan of hers at all. I mean, she's got good mic skills, and she's got a lot of charisma and so forth, but she's not a great talent. She's not very believable against fucking Shayna Baszler. Come on, let's be honest. Shayna Baszler losing to Bianca Belair. Let's get real. Get the fuck out of here. And her trying to beat Rhea Ripley is totally unrealistic. Rhea Ripley is going to become the replacement of Shayna Baszler at this point. She is going to run roughshod through this NXT roster. I guarantee it. So that was pretty much that match. We then had a match with Finn Balor going up against Jaquan Wild. And this match was a squash match. I mean, Jaquan Wild, he took a humongous fucking shot to the chest. It was fucking painful. I was literally tired, guys. I will admit this. I was extremely tired and I was falling asleep. But when I saw fucking Finn Balor, as my eyes were kind of closing up and I felt like I was going to fall asleep, fucking Finn Balor comes out of nowhere and drop kicks this guy in the fucking chest into the corner and then delivers a coup de grace from the top rope and then hits a 1916 with the in the middle of the ring for the 1-2-3. I was like, holy shit. That woke me up for a while. And damn, that fucking looked painful as hell. I will admit that. That was fucking painful. I wouldn't want to take a shot that guy took. So then we had Shayna Baszler face Shizutsu Blackheart. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I think I might have mispronounced it. If I did, I apologize. But this match, I didn't watch NXT last week. Of course, as you guys may know, I made my move. I also had no internet for almost an entire week. So I had no way of reviewing or doing anything with these shows. And I didn't really have the time to go back and watch them over the weekend since I was unpacking on top of it. So, fortunately, I'm going to have to go back and watch AEW and NXT from last week just to get some updated information and just enjoy some good wrestling from last week that I missed. But I did see the promo video about Blackheart eliminating Shayna Baszler. I will go to record saying this. I will go on record saying this. That was a bunch of bullshit in a fucking battle royal. Why the hell would Shayna Baszler get eliminated by Blackheart? That's a fucking joke. Will I go on to say that she's got good mic skills, Blackheart? Yes. She's talked horrendous. What the fuck am I saying? I wouldn't be able to pass a fucking promo video a promo if my life depended on it at this point, the way I sound on these fucking reviews. But I have knowledge in my head, so I hope you guys can appreciate that. Anyway, guys, she can do a promo very well. I will say that. She is very good at what she does when it comes to talking. From what I heard, from what she was saying in that promo, I enjoyed it. But she is not believable right now to be the person to actually be a heavy hitter, being a person who will eliminate Shayna Baszler. I'm sorry. Thank God they did the right thing here on this matchup where Shayna Baszler makes her tap out by submission. Now, Blackheart, I'll give her credit. She put up a fight, tried to get out, but couldn't, and she ends up losing anyway at the end of the match. So I will give her credit for that. They did the right thing by helping her get built up, but at the end of the day, there was no reason for Blackheart to eliminate Shayna Baszler. I did not like that whatsoever. I thought that was bullshit. But hey, that's just a battle royal, so it was no big deal that she ends up refacing her in this matchup one-on-one and loses to Shayna Baszler. So after the bell, Baszler actually keeps the submission hold applied as the referee tries to get her off. Blackheart starts to go out. The referee's called for the bell again, but Baszler isn't letting up. Baszler finally breaks the hold and stands tall as the music hits, and then they go to replay and Baszler makes her exit. We then go to a video package with comments from former best friends Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. Nox says she will take her time punishing Kai, and Kai says the clock is ticking and Nox is due for another injury. They will do battle next week, so that should be an interesting match. Though I don't understand why this match is not being saved for the NXT TakeOver event in Portland in mid-February. I think this would be a great opportunity for these two women to perform in front of a large audience. I think they would do a good job, especially with this kind of thing. It looks a little similar to what they did with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. I think this would be a great opportunity for them to perform in such a large audience like an arena in Portland. But unfortunately, they're not getting that opportunity. But it should be a good match. I'm looking forward to that. I hope they develop this even more, maybe even push it down the line to the NXT TakeOver show, either at Portland or even Tampa. Hey, give me whatever. I'll take anything I can get that will get me hyped up for NXT TakeOver. But it doesn't matter because I know for a fact NXT TakeOver will deliver. I know that for a fact. Anyway, so we go to promo backstage with the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, Angel Garza. He was asked, is he worried about competing against 3 other men this coming Saturday on Worlds Collide in a Fatal 4-Way match? And he says he's good. Garza goes on and says he's not worried about Isaiah Swerve Scott, which, wow, he's going to be good, or the 2 NXT UK superstars that will qualify on tomorrow's NXT UK episode. So they haven't even gotten the qualifiers for that match. From that point, we had a hell of a co-main event between the Broserweights versus Imperium with Aichner and Bartel against Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. This was awesome. If there's anything you could ever look for in tag team wrestling, fuck AEW, they delivered right here. This was by far the best match in tag team wrestling this year so far. I will say that right now, wholeheartedly. It made NXT UK's Fatal 4-Way ladder match look fucking pathetic. And that was a good match. This was great. I enjoyed this match unbelievably. I was ecstatic watching this matchup. I couldn't keep my eyes off this entire match. This match got me hyped, and I was excited watching it. This was exciting to watch. This delivered on all cylinders. NXT UK Imperium lost to the Broserweights, and Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle are moving on to the finals. Now, the finals, I don't know when that's coming about. I think that's at the Worlds Collide show, I believe. Sorry about that. I'm not sure when the fucking finals is. I don't know if it's, I think it was, it's for next week or something. Let me read here. Zach Gibson. Okay, so after the match, Muro confirms the grizzled young veterans versus the Bruiserweights. Riddle and Pete Dunne stand tall in the middle of the ring as we go to replays as Imperium looks on. We come back and the Bruiserweights go to the ramp near the trophy, and Zach Gibson and James Drake come out and take shots at the Bruiserweights. Gibson especially runs down Pete Dunne for being the roadblock in their careers. He confirms that the finals for next Wednesday, there you go, Riddle and Dunne also take shots at their opponents on the mic. Dunne says that next week Gibson and Drake will lose, and the Bruiserweights will leave with the trophy, bro. And the music hits as Dunne and Riddle head back to taunting Gibson and Drake. So there you go, folks. They're going to be facing them next week. I don't agree with that. That's one thing I don't agree with. I don't understand why they aren't having the finals at Worlds Collide. If you really look at it, Pete Dunne's more part of NXT USA's roster. right now than the UK roster. So why aren't we getting this finals at the Worlds Collide? I think that would be a better idea to do than leave it for next week's show. I mean, granted, it could be the main event of NXT episode next week, but come on, this is pay-per-view quality right here. This is a fucking finals to a tournament. Why wouldn't you want to put this on the pay-per-view? I don't get it. But, hey, it is what it is. They want to do that, by all means. I'm very certain for this to be the main event, they will do a good job with it and give it justice for why it's the main event of NXT. So, I don't have anything against them for doing that, but this is worth a pay-per-view show. This doesn't need to be on the NXT show. I think Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai could be on the main event of NXT, to be honest with you guys. Then the main event. And then we're done here. Keith Lee versus Roderick Strong for the North American Championship. Now, I will go on record and say this. I did not like the idea that this match is going on a NXT show. Like I'm saying about the finals. I think this match is more than deserving to be on a pay-per-view show of some sort. And unfortunately, we got this as a main event. Nonetheless, it was a great main event. I will give it that. It was a little slow, but as it went on, the last 9 minutes of the match, when they came back from the last commercial break, they were hitting it on all cylinders. Before that, it was kind of average, okay, nothing exciting to jump for joy for. But the last 9 minutes of this show, when they got back from commercial break, the last commercial break that they went all the way to the end of the show, they delivered. This was awesome. I mean, it was enjoyable. Keith Lee fighting against all odds and finally figuring out a way to get through all of this and winning the NXT North American Championship, I think was enjoyable to watch. I really have no problems with what they did here. Do I think this should have happened at a pay-per-view? Absolutely. I think this is just the startup to the end of Undisputed Era as champions. I hope it's not the end of them being on the NXT roster, because they're not going to make it in WWE's main roster. They won't. They'll be treated like mule. They'll be treated like garbage. That's all there is to it. This show is what wrestling needs to be. This is what WWE as a whole should be. But it's not. And they used to deliver like this. This used to have attitude. It used to be entertaining. It used to have some sort of comedy, but more towards the wrestling aspect. Now it's just a complete and utter fucking joke for the main roster. But yeah, the main event, Keith Lee wins it. Awesome main event. Very enjoyable. Definitely, if you catch the match, you don't really need to watch the whole entire thing. You just watch the last 9 minutes. That is what they needed right there. They only needed the match to go 10 minutes. And they delivered within those 10 minutes. So, I give them a lot of kudos for that. But, gotta say, I think this match would have done better justice if it was on a pay-per-view instead of a regular episode. But, hey, that's just me. I think the match with Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle versus Imperium would have been a more suitable main event. But, hey, that's just me. You guys leave your comments and opinions down below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. And thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful night, guys. Bye.